If you like that, there's more semi-rad action to come. So this is my video on the 2 weeks I spent over the last month and a half up at government camp and Mount Hood in Oregon, and trying out my new, to me, AT skis. Thank you, Tom, for selling your old ones to me. So there I'm demonstrating the heel lifters, which allows you to go uphill easier. So the main difference between downhill skis and AT, or alpine touring skis, is the ability to lift up your heel. Your toe pivots like a cross-country ski. Then you get to the top, you can lock down your heel into the binding, take the skins off, and ski like a proper alpine ski back downhill. So I was just doing laps, figuring out the ins and outs, the best techniques to avoid hot spots that I was getting, and perfecting the stride. Here I am taking the skins off. Obligatory skin and video. Gotta have it. And here I was playing with the technique I saw online, where you can use poles to figure out the slope that you're on if you don't have a fancy app or tool that can do that for you. So if you make an imprint with one pole, stick the other two poles at each end of the imprint and put them together, it'll form an equilateral triangle. So if you remember your geometry, each of those three inside angles are 30-degree angles, and right now you can see the triangle is pointing straight up, which means the ground is flat. So the only danger I have is a real comfy nap in that snow there. But as the slope increases, the right pole lifts, the left one starts going downhill. So as it's straight up and down like it is now, the slope would be 30 degrees, and as it starts tilting downhill, it's over 30 degrees. And 30 degrees is kind of your over-under for avalanche danger. That's just one technique for measuring the slope. There's a lot of other considerations you got to take into consideration in the backcountry, which I'm still learning and researching. This is not an informational video. This is just me skewering around at Mount Hood. So I strapped some bike lights to my poles, and I also had a headlamp on my head, and that lit it up pretty well, so I was able to see and avoid gotchas and trees, and I was having so much fun. I popped the skis off, didn't put the skins on, but just boot packed up to do a section again, because it was so fun. And of course I had to set the GoPro up to get a video to see how flippin' sweet those lights looked on the poles. And here we go. Whoa, look at that big air. You can count how long it was in milliseconds. Alright, so now we're doing Instagram pictures, also required. And finally, some more skiing action on some nice fresh powder. A couple inches here. Towards the end of the Alpine Trail. Yep, just getting back onto the summit hill. There's some pretty good whoops there on the bottom left. Just getting semi-rad again. I love mini airs more than anything. And yeah, that was a good night of skiing, so I decided to set the alarm and get up to do it again the next day. So this is the parking lot you come down to. This is right on Highway 26, government camp, rest stop, bathrooms, gas station. And here's the van I've been working and living in. So I was skiing before work, after work, on the weekends, whenever I could, whenever my feet would allow it. And here's the next morning. Got up at like the crack of 5 o'clock, I think. Wasn't planning on doing too much, but the snow was great. I was feeling great. I had some of the first tracks up there, so I knew that going down was going to be good. Boss gave me the green light to be a little late for a mental health appointment. You might notice my awesome vintage surf style jacket. Thank you, Ross. It didn't melt the snow. I was worried about that. And here we are on the Alpine Trail again, going back down. This is kind of a lazier part where I could get the GoPro out. Some of the parts are steepish, and couldn't GoPro those. Oh, there's that sick air again. Feel free to rewind to watch it again. Yeah, so just a gorgeous day, one of my best days of skiing since I earned my turns, and more adventures to come. So I also had the bike out on Trillium Lake, and JP and Kayla came up to visit for the weekend, and all the hood shots I could get. Thanks for watching.
Bloody drunk guy.